I'm Patty Teal, and you're listening to KTMS News Talk 990. Stay tuned because next up is Village Properties Realtor and host of The Hop. That's Home Ownership Podcast. Here's David Charles Allen.
Welcome to The Hop. This is David Charles Allen, Realtor of Village Properties in Santa Barbara, California, with my good friend and co-host Patty Teal. I'm doing amazing today, Patty. How you doing?
I'm doing great too, David. Thanks for asking.
Good to hear. Yeah, we had a couple hot days this past week, but looking ahead, mostly partly cloudy and sunny skies. How are you doing over there?
Finally, the weather cooled down. This morning, I needed a jacket. It was in the high 50s, and it probably got up to the high 70s or maybe 80. And I guess this is the attraction to Florida and why it gets so crowded this time of year.
That's a big change throughout the day. Upper 50s to 80s.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it.
It's nice.
So yeah, in terms of surf too, we've had a really fun flow of swell these last couple weeks now. So hasn't been really big or anything like that. No major swells, but it's been pretty consistent, and there's always some waves to be had out there.
Well, that's good. As long as you can get some rides and it's not completely flat, it's all good.
Yeah, that's what matters. And that's what's always fun about living in Santa Barbara is you always get some kind of waves depending on what you're willing to surf. And summertime is probably the only time that is hard to find anything.
Interesting. Well, sometime, David, I've been learning about surf etiquette and how you can't jump in and take just any old wave. You have to wait your turn. So sometime we'll have to talk about that. I find that very interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting about who follows it and whatnot. I don't know. It just kind of depends what kind of person you are to how you're going to interpret different situations. But yeah, there's definitely some interesting stories I have about that. That's for sure.
Yeah, I want to hear some of those. It sounds fun.
Definitely. In terms of interest rates too, they actually went up to 3.25% for conforming 30-year and stayed consistent at 3% for non-conforming jumbo. So again, they're still extremely low historically how rates have performed, but we are seeing that slight up and down influx that we've seen the last several months now.
Yeah, these are interesting times. They keep talking about inflation and the supply chain issues, but I'm not sure as of yet if it's affecting real estate. It doesn't seem like it is.
Well, if you say that if it's inflation, prices have definitely gone up. So you can say that it's cost more to buy a home now. So that's for sure.
That's true.
That's definitely true. And then supply chain, the supply of homes has been really low steadily. So again, I know that's two totally different things, supply chain and supply of homes, but they do. Good
insight. They do seem to kind of correlate though.
They do. There is a little correlation there, that's for sure.
Interesting.
Then in terms of how the stats have performed, we had 37 new listings, 12 price changes, 42 that closed, 40 that went pending, 1 that expired, and 8 were coming soon. We had actually went up the last 2 weeks before this. It was 27 and 29. So we did see a slight uptick in terms of new listings. But again, more that went pending that came on. So again, no real buildup. It's definitely the time of year where supply even gets more stringent. Usually a lot of buyers stop looking over the holidays, but I don't think that's stopping them this time around.
Right. And I really like your advice that maybe if you are thinking of listing your house, you might want to do it over the holidays. Think how cozy it will look if you have your Christmas tree up. And plus, there aren't many houses that you're competing against.
Yeah, I wouldn't say bring it to market right on Thanksgiving or the day after, but definitely during this period of time, I think you have a good chance of finding someone that's still looking to buy a house. Maybe previous years, it wasn't quite the case, but I think things are definitely changing, like you've said.
And I think now would be a good time for you to give our listeners your contact information.
Yeah, my number is 805-617-9311, and my email is david@davidcharlesallen.com.
Are you ready for the question of the week?
Yeah, let's give it a go.
A listener asked, is it better to leave a house vacant if you've already moved out, or to put a few pieces here and there, or to have a stager come in?
So again, that's going to depend on a variety of factors. It's going to be your timing, how much money you have to actually spend or put into the home. It varies because staging could take a couple weeks to find someone and then actually put all the stuff in the home. But If there's nothing else, time wasn't a worry, money wasn't an issue, I would definitely say staging always helps. Putting a couple small items in the home, it really depends how it fits. Depending on your style too, it could be a benefit or it could not be a benefit. I would always recommend a professional stager because they're going to really make it pop. And even for photos, it gets more people in the house, and then people can kind of imagine where things go. Everything looks really nice and redone. People can kind of picture their own things in there. Some people just don't have a creative outlook on when they're seeing things without any staging or any furniture at all. Some people are really good with that, some people aren't. So when you're selling a home, you want to create an environment where anyone can come in and be more appeased. So the people that aren't able to kind of vision things, that's going to help them out, be able to be more interested in the home. And the people that can envision things, they're going to appreciate where things went in the home. They maybe switch around some couple things, but I always recommend definitely a professional stager.
But that's good. And I imagine one of the worst things you can do is have a lot of clutter. I know I've looked at even rental properties before, pictures of it, and if things look really messy and cluttery, I think, ooh, that just doesn't look nice. And I kind of go on, even though it could be totally different once it was cleared out.
You're exactly right. If you have every option you mentioned and that has to be the worst option. Vacant and empty is better than clutter. One piece of furniture is better than clutter. Anything that looks full and looks like a lot of stuff, that's just a huge no-no. Everything looks tight. Everything looks smaller. People don't know what's underneath all that stuff. In addition, they're like, well, how is this person going to move? They have so much stuff. It's just another mental thing that goes on in people's minds. Like, well, if I even buy this home, how are they going to move all this stuff in the time allotted? Am I even going to be able to move in when I want to? Yeah, that's the number one no-no is clutter and just large items that take up a lot of space.
Oh, I hadn't even thought about the worry of, oh, they're never going to get out of there. That is something that could enter a potential buyer's mind.
When you're in the real estate business too, you definitely pick up on things that people may not consciously think, but subconsciously it goes through their mind. And again, you want to be the most open environment for anyone to come in and kind of appreciate what's there.
Good advice. So moving on to my favorite segment, the pooches at home. How are yours doing?
They're all doing really amazing right now. Mango, I feel like he doubles in size every other week, so he's getting really big. And all he
I
wants,
have such a vision of him in my mind. I must see a picture. Yeah.
all he wants to do is go outside too. So he'll just sit at the window, and sometimes we'll let him outside for like 30 minutes, and he'll just roll in the dirt. So
I know he's a big kitty, but do you worry about him wandering off as some cats are prone to do?
he's actually pretty good. He actually snuck out the window one time and we're like, oh, where is he? And it was like an hour. And then we just shook some food outside and he came back instantly. So he's very food. I don't know how you'd put it. He loves his meals. That's for sure. So I don't think he's going anywhere where he knows he's not going to get fed.
Food motivated, we will call it.
Food motivated. Yes.
Oh, that's good. In the neighborhood where I'm at right now, I'm again babysitting my golden retriever grand dog, but I've noticed a couple of stray cats. One day, a lady was out there looking for her stray cat, and she's put posters all over. And I've seen someone has been putting cat food out on the sidewalk, and there's a couple different stray cats. Unfortunately, when they dart in front of you in the dark, practically takes my arm off with Riley, the golden retriever, as he chases after it, and I have to reel him back. But I haven't gotten a good enough look to find out if it's the missing cat of the woman I spoke to.
Yeah, I mean, cats are pretty mysterious. You really have a hard time catching them and even seeing them sometimes. They're usually watching you. You think cats go and explore all these little places, but they usually stick to 1 or 2 blocks by your home and they just kind of explore and have that domain, that area that's theirs. So it's interesting when people have lost cats, they could just be right outside the house right next door.
Wow, that's really interesting that you've done that research. I didn't know that they stayed close to their home neighborhood. That is a good thing to know.
I don't know if it's like that for all cats, but that's just what I was reading up on.
Well, David, thank you for all the great information. Before we sign off today, one more time, would you give your contact information?
Yeah, my number is 805-617-9311, and my email is david@davidcharlesallen.com.
And remember, David not only is a realtor at Village Properties, but he's the host of the HOP, that's Home Ownership Podcast. Be sure and subscribe. Take care, David.
Thanks, Patty. Let's give it a go next week.
Yes. Bye-bye.